Pay wave's getting a bit of attention this week, Chief Commissioner, because I think it's an 18% drop in people using ATMs. Cash is sort of going and pay. Do you have any concerns about security around PayWave?
Yeah, PayWave has been very, very popular and increases to become more popular, as you point out, Neil. It's exactly right. People find them very convenient, and we expected they'll be here for some time. We raised some issues, I think, when Ken Lay was Commissioner, when these things first come out, because we weren't really consulted at the time. And there were issues around them being accessed and stolen, etc., and then being used in a more uncontrolled manner. We understand there's been some improvements there around setting the amount of consecutive transactions, limits and things like that, that have improved that since that time. But the important point to make about the tap and goes is for people to understand that tap and go card, that's cash. If you wouldn't leave cash in your car laying around, but someone will leave the credit card thinking that, well, it's a credit card, I can get it cancelled. But in fact, it's as good as cash because it can be tapped for purchases straight away. So we've just got to keep that in mind with these tap and go cards. Treat them as cash.
And do you have reports of people doing that, leaving them in a car, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, all the time. Yeah, all the time. Yeah, we do operations around shopping centre car parks, for example, to try and make sure people A, lock their cars, but B, don't leave valuables in their cars, and it happens every day, in incredible amount of times. Which
leads to an increase in the number of cars broken into, obviously.
Yeah, and the theft of what's in the car.
An issue came up during the week about people and the number of people caught with drugs in the system driving motor vehicles, which has been a matter of some concern. We've talked about that before. But a caller said, why is it if I'm caught with methamphetamine when driving, or even cannabis with driving, I'm only charged with a driving offence rather than a drug offence? Is that right? You wouldn't be charged with using methamphetamine if you were found with it in your system?
No, you dealt with under the provisions that we deal with in terms of it being a driving offence. That's just in terms of doubling up for the same activity, not charging someone twice for the one act.
And does that work all right? Or do you, yeah, because you are committing an illegal act in using the drug in the first place, and then another illegal act by driving when affected.
Yeah, look, it's something that it's just been the practice, I understand, for some time, but. Where we're just trying to do some work, I think, is around the penalties for drink driving v drug driving, and making sure that they're the same. I understand there's some disparities there that we're just looking at.
What is it? Are the penalties not as severe for drug driving?
I think there are different penalties in terms of the penalty provisions for drugs as opposed to alcohol, and there's some work getting done at the moment around the making those more commensurate. I haven't got the exact figures in my head, Neil, but I don't. When I last looked at this, there was some work getting done on it.
Well, clearly, with the numbers that are turning up, you want a pretty serious penalty, don't you?
Oh, yeah, and it's increasing the drug driving use. Just meeting with the other chief commissioners around the country the other day, it's across the whole country, in fact, the drug driving phenomenon is increasing.
Undercover operations and mobile phones, there have been a few of those running. Mobile phones when driving.
Oh yeah.
You're doing a few undercover operations now. So plainclothes police.
Plainclothes police. Yeah, there have been some of that because the use of mobile phones as a distraction device is something that Doug Fryer has been highlighting of recent times. Assistant Commissioner Fryer is in the road policing area. It's becoming more and more prevalent. People texting. What you can do with your phones now is not just make a phone call, but you can do an enormous amount of things on it, checking apps and dealing with the internet and social media. It's getting used more and more while people are driving rather than pulling over, and you've only got to take your eyes off the road for just a few seconds and the results can be lethal. So we have been ramping up the enforcement of the mobile phone use.